Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Sir Spam28 here bringing you some World of Warships live-action commentary. I am sailing out in the St. Louis, the Tier 3 American cruiser. American cruisers, the cruiser line, it's probably my favorite type of ship in World War II. I just absolutely love them, both the light cruisers and the heavy cruisers. Special shout out to the Cruisin class light cruiser, which was the most numerous cruiser built by the Americans in World War II. And then also, not the best, but shout out to the Pensacola class cruisers. First heavy cruisers that the U.S. ever built with the 8-inch guns. More specifically, shout out to them because that type of ship was the first ship to get the city in which I currently live in, Salt Lake City, ship named after it. It was a Pensacola class cruiser, and it has the distinction of being the ship in World War II that was in the most engagements, unofficially. Was in a couple of big surface-to-surface battles early in the war. Cape Esperance, Second Battle of Savo Island, early, and then it actually went up to the Aleutians and was fighting in the Aleutian Islands and had a big surface-to-surface engagement up there, and then was involved in a bunch of escort duties and a bunch of island shelling duties all throughout the rest of the war. Yeah, so shout out to that ship, and yeah, that was the first time Salt Lake had a ship named after it. So that class of ship will always have a little place in my heart. Now, in this match, looking at the teams, we've got 3 battleships. They got 2 battleships, 2 carriers to 2 carriers. We've got an Independence, so we have superior air power. They have more cruisers, but we have 1 more destroyer. But they have 2 Phoenixes, which are very dangerous cruisers, torpedoes and everything. So what I'm going to do, that's the St. Louis. I'm going to see if I can hit him with some long shots. So basically what I'm going to be doing is what all cruisers should be doing, is traveling with your battleships and setting up screens. You want to be with your battleships to prevent destroyers, which the destroyers on their team, and those I think are their only 2 destroyers, yeah, are over there. So I don't actually have to worry about destroyers that much. That battleship does, but it's got a cruiser screening. So what I want to be doing is supporting this battleship, and making sure that aircraft aren't, going to be hitting it. So we'll start opening up. I'm going to slow down so I don't hit this battleship, and I am going to see if I can't get a broadside starting going here. This battleship's going to start taking cover, so that means I am going to actually start opening up on some of these cruisers here. See if I can't get, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Get some actual damage being done here. That last one should hit. And those should all hit. And those should all hit. So I'm actually going to steam around this island and see if we can't sink some of these cruisers. Again, we don't have to worry about being a destroyer screen right now because we identified their 2 destroyers on the other side of the map. That's a little too far. It's a little too far. I'm not making it over the island, so we're going to churn, and we're going to start firing on this St. Louis. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're right in there. And hopefully, with the HE, the St. Louis, the guns just aren't very protected. So hopefully we can just really start taking out guns. Yeah, just like that. He's running around. So we're going to sing it down to half and just let this guy have the good news. I'm going to see if I can't take out his steering, actually, in the back here. Or his propulsion. Just to, you know, kind of keep him stuck. Because he's not moving. We're on fire. So we'll go ahead and put that out.
The ship is on fire.
Oh, there's a destroyer. So this is my new priority target right here. So I'm actually going to ignore that cruiser and shoot this destroyer before he gets a good run in on my battleship. And there goes his propulsion, and 4. So he unfortunately got to sink one of our cruisers, but that's okay. Battleship is still alive, and that's the most important thing. I should have been not tunnel envisioning as much, or at least glancing at the minimap a little bit more to see that destroyer coming in earlier, and switch fire at him earlier, because that's what you want to do in a cruiser. That's your whole job, is to shoot destroyers as much as you can. So, but really, what I really want to point out, and what you've kind of seen demonstrated, at least on this flank, cruisers sticking with the battleships, providing supporting fire. Let the battleships focus on the battleships. You shoot destroyers, you shoot cruisers, you provide an aircraft screen. Unfortunately, the St. Louis is not the best at it. Once I get into the next American cruiser, the first, actually kind of like modernish light cruiser, the Phoenix, it's very fast. So you can move in front of your battleships as a screen a lot more effectively. We need to be 9. That's about... No, he's moving out of engagement range. These guns, these 76 millimeters, just not... don't have the range. But yeah, so the St. Louis here, it doesn't have the speed and maneuverability to be that effective as a screen. And also it kind of lacks the AA firepower that you need to be that effective as an anti-aircraft screen. But once you get past the St. Louis and kind of into the modernish light cruisers and then the heavy cruisers at tier 8 or tier 7, you can fulfill your role a lot better than you can in the St. Louis. I mean, hell, even like the tier 1, just the starting the Erie, the tier 1 American cruiser, actually fulfills its role better as a anti-aircraft, and can, you know, keep position better as a screening ship, a lot better than the St. Louis. What the St. Louis brings is just an assload of firepower. So this game is going rather well. We seem to have cleaned up this flank. We sunk 3 of their cruisers over here and a battleship, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, I think a destroyer, that's that same destroyer that got away. So yeah, so now we're just going to go ahead and roll to the other flank where it looks like we've had some modest success. They have lost both their battleships, so they're down to 2 cruisers, a destroyer who is probably about to be sunk by that cruiser over there. And then once we find their carriers, which their carriers are probably back somewhere in like B2, A1, you know, those 4 squares. So that's got to be fun. This guy is now in range, and he is charging, which is, yeah, I don't know. I can't really blame him. 8, and he's kind of coming in. He's churning. He's done. We don't even get to shoot at him. The power of torpedoes. So yeah, the St. Louis, it's just really... Okay, here's another destroyer. That's my primary objective. He's taking cover. He's probably going to stay behind that island, swing around, and do another torpedo run at those ships. So I'm probably not... And he's launching his torpedoes. What, he's about 4 kilometers away. Okay, so now these ships are coming in, or these planes are coming in for that battleship. So I'm going to see if I can't intercept them a little bit, while also trying to, you know, track that destroyer. These torpedoes are going to miss by a large margin. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to these planes in time. But we can't see if, yeah, I'm not going to be able to. They're going to launch that torpedo spread. Unfortunately, that battleship looks like he's kind of stuck against the headland there of that island. So he's probably going to eat a couple of those unless he turns in and avoids them. But yeah, if I was in a faster cruiser, like I said, like I'd actually want to be like towards the edge of their cap circle. And if I was in that position, I would have been able to be shooting at those planes on their way in and then on their way out. That's what you want to do in a cruiser. You want to try to position yourself 3, 4, 5 kilometers off your battleship towards the enemy. Again, to act as that destroyer screen, act as that that anti-aircraft screen. But like I said before, St. Louis, it's just kind of too slow to really fulfill that. I'm not even, and the range on the guns are just atrocious. It's like 10 kilometers. So it's not the greatest. Maybe we can get in range of, well, that carrier is dead to torpedoes. But maybe we can get in range of this one and get some more damage off before the match ends. But it's not likely, actually, at all. I mean, we'll just take pot shots. We're actually going to cap. There's just a lot of us in the cap circle. So that was the match. Not great on my part. 40 hits, which is actually pretty easy to do in the St. Louis because you just have so many guns. Let's see where I ended up. Kind of middle of the pack. No, bottom. Yep, in the bottom tier. Just that match kind of developed way too fast. We worked as a team really on that right-hand flank. Cruisers in with the battleships to protect the battleships from destroyer runs. You actually saw one of our cruisers eat some torpedoes instead of a battleship. He lost his life for it, but honestly, when it comes down to it, I would much rather, speaking team-wise, lose a cruiser than lose a battleship to a destroyer's torpedo runs, especially if you're able to then sink that destroyer because of it. That's just a better outcome all around. So let's go ahead and try to do one more. See if we can't get into a game real fast. Yep. Not to make this video too long, but we'll see how this goes. Another one on the St. Louis. The ship, like I said, it's just not. The Phoenix is a lot more of what a cruiser should be. Now the St. Louis, like I said, lots of guns. Actually has lots of HP and lots, not armor per se, but better armor than the Phoenix does, and a lot more HP than the Phoenix. It's much bigger than the Phoenix. But the Phoenix has that mobility that you need to get in front of the battleships and stay there. All the battleships, I believe,
Battle starts.
are faster than the St. Louis. So it's really hard. Alright, so in this map, what I want to be doing here, again, my role as a cruiser, get with the battleships and screen them. So I'm actually going to type that. Cruisers screen the BBs. I didn't mean to caps lock that. I don't know why my caps lock was on. That was my bad. But what you don't want to do in a cruiser is what that guy's doing right there. Is steaming off on your own. Because I said it before. I don't know if you've seen my tips, tricks, and tactics video. But I had a couple examples in there of what not to do as a cruiser and the outcome. What not to do as a cruiser is to steam off on your own like that, down a flank. Because what is likely to happen is you're likely to run in to either enemy cruisers that outnumber you and then you're dead, or you're going to run into a battleship on that flank and then you're really dead. Cruisers, until you get to the very, very heavy late tier cruisers, honestly, probably not until you get to the tier 10 cruiser with its rapid firing 8-inch guns do you really even have a chance against a battleship. That is, of course, unless you're in a light cruiser that's fast, and you can get in and get torpedoes off and get out before your ass gets sunk by the battleship, you just don't have a chance. So that battleship's there. That cruiser is now screening that battleship, that on the St. Louis. So I'm going to go ahead and work with this guy here. And again, 3, 4, 5 kilometers is preferred. So he's actually cutting right across my T. So I'm going to try to slow down and turn in and see if we can't avoid that collision. But no, it's not going to happen. He's going to ram me. I don't know why that happened. But now we're on full reverse. And this is an unfortunate series of events. Let's see if we can't... I don't think anyone lost any HP for that. He lost a little bit, and I lost just a smidge. But, okay, so that destroyer there needs to die a horrible, horrible death. So we'll see if we can't. I mean, he's probably already gone. But this is what I am here for, is to prevent that destroyer from reaching this battleship. That is my job. That is my goal in life. And I kind of don't like the St. Louis, again, just because it's just so goddamn slow and unmaneuverable. But yeah, that's what my job is to make sure that destroyer's torpedoes cannot reach this battleship. That is the primary objective. Now that cruiser on the other side, I think, did an excellent job at screening off a destroyer over there. And you can see that torpedo spread against that battleship had to be launched from very far away. And it was not accurate, it was not good. And that's destroyer's torpedoes, I think, might hit that cruiser. Nope. Again, so they're not getting any torpedoes in on our battleships, and our battleships are now free to just engage their battleships, which is what they should be doing. And it's the cruiser's job, me and Landshark here, to be the screening force. So we're going to set ourselves up. So it's going to be perfect if the battleships stay behind these islands and us cruisers are in a line in front of these islands. That means the destroyers can't get through these passages, can't get the, 3-kilometer torpedo range, accurate torpedoes that they want on the battleships, because the cruisers are here. This smoke screen, I think it's a friendly smoke screen from those 2 destroyers, but it's just, I don't know where that other destroyer went. It's kind of freaking me out. There's one over there on that battleship. It's probably not going to be good news for him. But, yeah. So I got to watch those destroyers ending around. I am actually... because there are 3 destroyers in that direction. So that's where I am going to be going. And trying to do what I can to make sure they don't end around. Oh, that destroyer just sneaked through. So we got to kick his ass. If we can. Unfortunately, the destroyers are very, very sneaky. And it's very hard, with this ship being as unmaneuverable as it is, to get in there and really, flex to where you need to be. In the meantime, we will take pot shots at this guy. As we flex around. The mountain's going to be in the way to try to get this destroyer back in sight. This is not St. Louis' primary job. Well, it is its primary job, but it's just not the greatest at it because it's so slow and so unmaneuverable. That, it can't really flex to be where it needs to be. Luckily, we have got some planes spotting that destroyer for me. Now, normally destroyers, especially that one, I think it's got a 6.1 surface-to-surface spotting range. So I would not be seeing it right now, because it is 13.4 kilometers away from me. But those planes are spotting it for me. That one is 13.2. But again, these guns only have a 10-kilometer range. So it's going to be very difficult. You know, and this St. Louis is just so goddamn slow that it's going to be hard for me to flex back. Now, the good news is if I do get in range, I've got enough guns, and that destroyer is almost in range, so I'm going to start opening my side and seeing if we can't get a broadside going on 10. He's still going to be out of range. And those are still going to be falling a little bit short. He's turning towards me. He wants to make a torpedo run in on me, which is fine. Because I say, bring it the hell on, good sir. So we'll... We've got guns to spare, my friend. And we can just kind of lay them out like this and see if we can't get hits. And this turn should be enough to dodge these torpedoes. Yeah, it is. So even the St. Louis, as unmaneuverable as it is, that looks like we got hit by one. You can see that it's maneuverable enough to avoid some torpedoes. Unfortunately, that went over.
Destroyer sunk.
Unfortunately, he got another one off, so that I am dead. But I was able to reset the cap enough that hopefully we're able to actually win this game now. And you can see, even as big and unmaneuverable as the St. Louis is, you're still able to churn in and dodge destroyer's torpedo spread and take it out relatively effectively. Because again, cruisers, one thing they pretty much all share, rapid firing guns, even though they're of a lower caliber, but destroyers have no armor, so the caliber really doesn't matter. As long as you just keep firing at them, you should be able to take them out. So yeah, they have effectively moved out of our cap, and I think we are actually probably going to end up winning this game. Because that destroyer's gone, so now it's just a battleship over here versus a cruiser. That battleship is going to win that engagement every time, even though he's only on half health, barring some interference from torpedo bombers. And this guy is just wrecked. But yeah, that battleship. Let's see if we can't get to him. Here we go. Nope, that's the carrier. We want this battleship. Where are we going? We want this battleship. Go to the other battleship. Go to the other battleship. Watch the surface fight. Yeah, so even though this guy started at half health and that cruiser started at pretty much full health, that cruiser has absolutely zero chance against the battleship. But we were able to cap it out and ended up with the victory. And even though I got taken out and I wasn't able to do that much that game, you can still see kind of the tactics involved. Screening the battleship, flexing back to defend the base, taking out the destroyer, being able to reset the cap a couple times. We got 4 defend base flags, or ribbons, I should say there. Team score, let's see how we did. Looks like it's, yeah, right in the middle. So not too good, not too bad. So a couple of kind of mediocre games, but again, just talking more about the tactics than anything. So I think that'll do it for just this live commentary, just a couple matches in the St. Louis. Not my favorite ship by any means, but it is an unfortunate stepping stone in my favorite class of ship, which is the American cruiser line. I just love them. I think they're beautiful. I've always loved kind of the flexibility that you get with the AA batteries that they mount, just the amount of 5-inch guns that they have for AA, and then just the 8-inch guns, just to ensure that you have fire superiority over destroyers and over light cruisers. I love that line, but I really also like the Cleveland light cruiser as well. I think it does its job really well. So hopefully we can get past the St. Louis soon and on to the Phoenix, and then onward and upward to some actual cruisers that actually can fulfill their cruiser duties rather well. But for now, that's all. And until next time, I will see you later. Thank you for watching.